Hi everyone, I am hopeful that all you will be fine. In the last session, we have learned how you can actually add or update the Zoom Cloud recording settings using the Zoom REST API. Okay, and I have defined all the available payload options or fields and what limitations our recording settings in the last session. In today's session, we will learn how you can actually add the recording registrant using the Zoom Cloud Recording REST APIs. Okay. So for that, we have already a registered endpoint. You can see here on the line 37, we have a registrant endpoint. We will use that endpoint and we will send the payload. And at the end, we will see that we have added registrants to the Zoom Cloud recording. Okay. So for that, we first need to create a helper here and we name it add recording registrant async, and we need to pass the meeting ID and payload. Inside the meeting ID, you can only pass the meeting ID number. You cannot pass meeting UUID. Okay, you can pass the integer long number inside the meeting ID. This API have a light rate limit. That means you can send only 30 requests per second with a pro plan, and you can send 80 requests per second with the business plus. Okay, and you must be have a recording write or recording write admin scope. Any one scope you have, then you will be able to add the registrants to your recording. Inside the payload, there are two different type of fields. One are the required fields you must be needed to pass. Okay, and another are optional fields. So if you want, then you can add. If you are not interested, then you cannot add those. Okay, so other are optional. Okay, inside the required fields, you must be needed to set the email of the registrant. You must be needed to set the first name. Okay, and the email must be follow all the valid email rules. Okay, inside the first name, you must be need to set the first name of the registrant. Value must be of type string, and the max length of first name field is 64 characters. You can only set the first name of the registrant within 64 characters. Okay, and third one field is the last name. Same, the type of the last name you must be needed to set the string value, and the max length of that last name is also 64 characters long. Okay, and these are the three only required fields inside the payload you must be needed to set. Okay, inside the optional, the first optional field is a status. You can set the registrant's status when you are going to adding that registrant inside your cloud recording using the Zoom REST API. Inside the status, you can also set the value of type string, and the value must be from this set. Okay, either you can set pending, either you can set approved. Okay, either you can set denied. And this status value will be totally applied as per your settings, what you have applied inside the recording setting. As you can see here, you have approval type. Okay, so there are three different type of approval. When you are going to setting or applying or adding or editing the settings using the Zoom REST API, rather you can directly setting the Zoom Cloud recordings from the recordings dashboard on zoom.us/recordings. And if you have a set approval type value 0, that means you are allowing automatic approve to the registrants. Okay, so once you have submitted the form using the add registrant endpoint, okay, then automatically the registrant will be approved to view or download or all the options what you have configured regarding the settings. Okay, but the approval will be automatically applied from the Zoom. Okay, but if you have set approval type 1, that means you are going to approving the registrant registration manually. Okay, that means the once you have submitted the payload using the registrant endpoint, and that registrant will be lie inside the pending section of the Zoom Cloud Recording Registration tab. Okay, there I can say section. Well, I must be show that thing here. You can see I have already a cloud recording, and once we navigate to the view registrant section, you can see you have here three tabs. So one is a pending approval, and another is approved, and third one is a denied. Okay, so if you have set the approval type 1, okay, and you have submitted the form from here to add the registrant, then that registrant will be lie inside the pending approval. We will see that thing in action, okay, in this session. And if you have a configure the approval type 0, okay, and you have submitted the form using the registrant endpoint, and then the registrant will be lie inside this approved automatically. Okay, so this optional field status will be totally depend on what you have configured inside the approval type. Okay, so if you have set approval type 0 and you are setting here pending, then by default the registrant will be lie already inside the approved section on your recording dashboard. Okay, and if you have a set it here approval type 1 and you have a configure here approved, then by default all the registrant will be lie inside the pending approval. We will see also that thing in action in this session. Okay, and inside the optional fields you have called country. Inside the country you can set the value of type string, and inside that you can set the registrant country. Okay, and there is also another optional field called city. Inside that you can also set the registrant city, and the value must be of type string. Okay, and another field is called comment, and inside the comment if there is any comment from the registrant, you can also set those comments inside the comment field, and the value must be of type string inside the comments also. And another collection you have, if you have asked a customized question from the registrants, okay, then you can also set those questions inside the customized questions array. Okay, and inside the every question have a title field, and the title will be also of type string, and also the value, and value also of type string. And inside the optional fields you can also say the organization of the registrant. So if you have asked from the registrant that he can also enter his organization name, then you can also set that organization inside the org field, and the value must be of type string. Okay, and if you have also asked from the registrant that how many employees inside the organization he or she have, then you can also set the number of employees field. Okay, and the employees you can pick any one value from this set. Okay, and if you have also asked from the registrant regarding the job title, then you can also set that job title inside the job title field inside the payload, and the value of the job title must be of type string. Okay, and if you have also asked the industry related information from the registrant, and you can also set that information inside the industry field. Okay, and the value of industry field must be of type string. And you have asked regarding the purchasing time frame from the registrants, then you can also set that information inside the purchase time frame field. Okay, and you can set any one value from this set. Okay, and if you have also information regarding the purchase role of the registrant, then you can also set that information inside the role in purchase process, and you can set any one value from this set. And if you have any information regarding the registrants, or you have asked the state of the registrant, then you can also set the state information of the registrants inside the state field, and the value of the state field must be of type string. And if you have also asked the phone number from the registrant, then you can also set the information inside the phone field, and the phone field type value must be of type string. And if you have also asked the zip code from the registrant, then you can also set the zip code inside the zip field, and the value must be of type string. And these are the totally optional fields inside the payload you can configure or set when you are going to register the registrants using the Zoom Cloud Recording Registrations API. And now let's start to build the request, and we will see the things in action. So here we const data await access. Here we need to set the URL, and we need to call the registrants, recording registrants, and we need to pass the meeting ID. Okay, we need to set the method, and method will be post, data will be payload. Okay, and we need to set the headers. Inside the headers we need to set the authorization header. We need to use a string interpolation. Here we need to set bearer token. Inside the bearer token we need to set that process.env access token. We need to bind then response, need to return the response. Okay, then we need to bind case, we say error. Here we need to return the error. Okay, need to return the data, need to format the code, and at the bottom we need to export that helper. So we say add recording registrant. Inside the recording API we first need to import that helper, add recording registrant, and at the bottom we need to create an endpoint. So we say app.post Here we say /API/Zoom recordings, and we need to set the meeting ID. Okay, and we say registrants. Need to bind the handler. So we say async request or response. Inside the body, we need to call the helper. So we say edit registrant, and we need to set await and call the add registrant helper. Inside that, we will get the meeting ID from the param. So we say request.params.meeting ID. For the payload, we will get that from request.body. We need to return response.json, and here we need to response back edit registrant. Need to format the code, and now we need to start the API. And then we need to navigate to the browser, and we first need to authorize. So we say localhost port 4000/API/Zoom authorize. We are successfully authorized. Now we need to open the Postman. Inside the Learn with Nate collection, we need to add a request. Here we say add loud recording registrant. Need to change it to post. Here we need to set the URI. So we say localhost port 4000/API/Zoom/recording, and we need to call this endpoint. Okay. Inside the body, we need to select raw, and we need to select JSON. Inside the payload, we need to define the required fields. So one is the email. Inside the email, I'm just setting learn with Nick.com, and first name will be Nick, last name. Inside the last name, I'm just setting learn Nick. Okay, and inside the status, I'm just sitting here saving it, and now we are just going to sending the request. You can see we have successfully added the registrant, and by defaultly this registrant is auto approved. You can see here beside the recording registrant, we just need to first navigate to the recording. Okay, you can see inside the recording registrant settings, here it is selected automatically approved. That's why the registrant is by defaultly approved. You can see inside the approved, we have a learn with Nick. Okay, and now we need to change the setting from auto to manual. Okay, so we need to click on the settings. So here we need to change the from automatic to approved. Select save all, and now we need to send another registrant. So I'm just changing the name and sending the request. And you can see inside the view registrants, you can see it is inside the pending. Okay, now you can deny or approve this. Okay, so when you are going to register the registrant and you are getting all the registrants inside the approved by defaultly, then you need to change the settings first. Then all registrants will be going to the pending approval, and from there you can change to approve or deny. And you can also change this status approve or deny by using the Zoom REST API. We will build another session regarding that. So this session is going a bit long. I'm going to end the session, and we will come back with another session. Take care. Bye-bye.